Well, Happy New Year and welcome to Mentorship Mondays for an absolutely exciting 2025. And this is the first time that Maren and I have seen each other since before the holidays. Maren, I missed you so much.
Shell, I missed you too. I know. And we recorded like two and then took
Yes,
a break. So we're like,
yes,
we really haven't seen each
yeah.
other. It's been a
No, we've had
while.
some quick little texts, but we are very
Yes.
busy with holidays and family and
Damn.
all that
Yep.
good stuff. And so
Yep.
it's really good to be back. And we have
Yes.
not had any opportunity to talk about anything. We hit the record button right away. And the only thing we know we're going to do today is we're going to get my pen out of here, draw the winner from our 31 Days of Love. So we will be doing that. And we'll do that at the end before we
Okay.
close out. But of course, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, no matter how you celebrated or what you did. And I'm very excited to be into this year. And as we all know, there has been many crazy things going on, and it's going to continue for this year. And we've got a little bit to talk about that. But so if you're listening to our podcast, we love you. We're so glad that you're here. And if you're watching, we love you. We're so glad that you're here. And of course, my first question to you, Maren, is how the heck have you been? How have things been
Oh.
going?
Things have been really good. I would say it's been very calm compared to, current events. We
Yeah.
had a really lovely Christmas and New Year's, and there were days where I didn't even come out of my house, which was amazing. Um, Days where I wore PJs all day, which was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it was really great. It was kind of warm, so we got to get outside. Well, it was warm and rainy though, so we got to get outside, but not really. And
Mm-hmm.
then it all ended, our winter break ended with the big snowstorm. I don't know, did you guys get it up there?
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
it
we
was
got a
kind of
lot of
like a
snow.
lower US
Mm-hmm.
storm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we have tons of snow. So fun. We've been sledding and
Yeah.
playing in the snow and,
Yeah.
doing all the
Yeah.
things. So it's
Doing
been
all
awesome.
the fun winter things.
Yes, yes. My kids got a VR for Christmas, like virtual
Ooh.
reality headset
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Um, it is so cool. Like
I
my
know.
husband, we all like fight over it. Like even my husband and I are like, wait, look, we want to turn, we want to turn,
Yeah, we
and
have
we're
one too, and oh my gosh, I love playing with that thing.
right. It is so
Hmm.
cool. And
Hmm.
yeah, my husband and I are like, do we like buy one for ourselves so we don't have to share because it's really fun.
I know.
Um,
I know.
yeah, so I really like that we've been playing I think it's called like Beatmaster or something where it's
Yes.
like one of those like dance things where like the blocks come at you and you have to
Yeah.
like
It's not
slice
easy,
them
is
up.
it? It's
No,
not.
it's not.
No, it takes a lot of practice. Yeah,
Yes.
but
I've
it's good
like
exercise.
yes. I am very proud that I can actually do it on normal rather than on easy. Like I'm
Oh, I
like I
can only do
feel
it on
like
easy.
I've got like street cred because I can do the normal setting.
Good for you.
So yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But I really like it because you just like get in your own world and you get in the flow. And I know we talk a
Yeah.
lot about like flow and like,
Yeah.
it's like you can really, and I'm like, oh my God, this is probably good for my mediumship because I'm really in the flow and I just let
Yeah.
go and like I need to like just do this to like develop my flowness,
It's,
like my ability to let
I'll
go.
tell you. I'll tell you something funny. When we first got ours, and I think we've had it for maybe about a year or so. But when we first got ours, there was this one game, and it was like a sample game, to test
What
your
was it?
settings and do all your stuff. It was a sample. It was the
Oh, sample.
Spider-Man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Oh
like
yeah.
the Spider-Man game. And
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have done this, but anyway, the perspective was you're Spider-Man and you're on the top of a skyscraper and you're about to like start swinging and going through the city. My kids laughed so hard because I went right down to the floor. Like, I was terrified because I have an issue with heights, right? I get this weird feeling up the
Oh
back of
my
my
God.
legs. So if I look
Yeah.
up at big skyscrapers, or I can only get so far out on a balcony, and I start to get these weird feelings, and almost like this feeling like, okay, I'm gonna jump. Like, it's like that impulsive back voice. It's the strangest thing. I
Yeah.
should probably look into that. But anyway, so here I am, like bracing myself on the floor and like going to the edge, and I can hear my kids and my husband cackling their heads off,
Oh
laughing
my God.
because I could not. It was so real. And
Yes.
and isn't that interesting? Okay, like think
Oh
about
yeah.
that, right? Think about how powerful. So truly, I was completely safe. And I knew that, but look at how powerful the
The
reality
mind.
around you puts you into that state. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
That is
so
really interesting.
I got better at it. I got better
Oh,
at it.
good.
But yeah.
We ours came with Batman, so this year is Batman.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, I got into the Batman world and I was like using my feet to step over stuff and I was like, "Wait, my feet, like why isn't it cuz it's only like your head and your hands and but it was and like you die. It is wild. It is so wild how immersive
So
it
cool.
is and how much of your space it takes
Yeah.
up. So, yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
awesome. That's good.
Yeah, it was fun. And so what about you?
So we had a really great holiday. I mean, it was quiet. We had our own Christmas here, like with just myself and my kids. And we got together with family. After that, oh, there goes my sorry. Um, but what was really exciting, I mean, Christmas is always a very busy time for us, but over the last few years, because my parents can't, my dad in his condition, they can't manage people in the house all at the same time, so we don't get together the same way. And so things have gotten much more quiet than what they used to be, which is wonderful. It really is. And right after Christmas, so rolling back a little bit, if we go back into the fall, you'll remember I talked about my daughter Maya, what she was going through with her seizures and everything.
Oh,
And she
mhm.
she is still
How is she
experiencing them.
doing?
She's doing
Okay.
good. She's not having them acutely the way that she was. So she was having them where they were like, she'd skip a day and then she'd go 3 days with having several in the day. So now it's roughly like she went over a week. And so through the Christmas holidays, I think it was Christmas Eve, she had it, and then absolutely nothing until New Year's Eve. And then she had kind of a rough morning, but the intensity of them has changed. Like they're not as severe,
Okay.
which is
Okay, good.
amazing. And
Yeah.
anyway, so she she has been preparing. She moved into a new room in the house. So in the back of her mind, because during the seizure she lost her snake, her soul snake I talked about, and that was just devastating for her.
Did
And
he have a name?
he did, Anubis.
Oh, that's
Anubis.
right. Anubis.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So, over the time after Anubis passed, both Maya and I had experiences where we had communication from him. And, and she's gone through a grieving process. And she said to me, Mom, I never realized how much that nurturing quality in me came out with having him. And she really was able to see what he helped her with and what he brought out in her. And I said to her, well, I'll tell you, before Anubis, I never thought that I would love a snake. Like I didn't have that compassion, but but the I think the whole circumstance and seeing the connection with her, and then after his passing and communicating with him, it just that love was just so just huge, just beautiful. And so she had wanted to get another one, and Anubis said to us to wait, to not go out, not to get one, to just wait, and that we would know the right time. So Maya knew that she needed to have time to grieve, and there was
Mhm.
changes happening. Taking care of her health has been number one, and she's been working through a lot, doing her own inner work. And she'd kind of talk about it every now and again, like, what if I don't get another one? What if maybe I shouldn't? And she'd go back and forth. And I said, you will get another one. You will. And when this one comes, it'll be the right one. Well, Maya kept getting visuals right back from the weekly past of a lighter colored snake, right? But she couldn't get a full view of it. So Christmas Eve, I have a dream. And in this dream, I'm in my kitchen and Anubis is on the counter and he stretches himself up because he did this weird, like, kind of, we always said the rope does scopes. Like he would kind of scope up and come right at you. And he came right at my face and it was like, and I said, whoa, buddy. Like right in my dream, I'm like, too close, too close.
Oh
And
my
as he
gosh.
did
Yeah.
that, and I remember in that dream, I was recognizing that he was healthy, he was alive. And I said to him, like, you're alive, you're well. And he didn't speak to me, but he started to change into a pure white snake, like pure white with blue eyes. And I remember
Wow.
looking at him and he looked crystally. And I thought, wow. And I thought, well, that's really cool. And and I'll just preface this part too. My dad, when we were growing up, my dad told us from the time that we were little that on Christmas Eve, all of the animals would talk at midnight. This was just something. And so, of course, in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a visit from Anubis in the night on
That's,
Christmas Eve. Yeah, he just
yeah.
always
Wow.
told us that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Christmas Day, I of course tell Maya, guess what? I had this dream, and she goes, Mom, she goes, I had a dream with him too. I had a dream
What?
too of a white snake, of a white saint. So slightly different circumstances, but she also had a dream we're both like. So it
That's
gets better.
something.
I
Yeah.
got a couple little tail end stories to add to this because this has
Okay.
been, I will say, probably the most, no, I don't know. Every year has been, I think from the year I met Eric, the Christmas holidays have been really magical, just crazy. But anyway, so, Christmas morning comes, and this is a little sidetracked from Anubis, but Christmas morning comes, and Rob got me a spirit box for Christmas, like one of their
Spirit box?
scanners. Yeah, it's like an SB7. It's like a
Oh,
little box. Yeah,
is this the
like
one that the
the
guy like create? Is this the one the guy
yeah.
created?
No, this one is so it's not one of those big ones that the voices come through. This one is a channel scanner. So
Okay.
it's what they use in a lot of times in paranormal investigations. And
Okay.
what it does is you set the frequency, and it takes the radio frequencies and it flips through them really quick so that spirit can use the frequency and speak. Okay.
Oh, we're
So
gonna
Rob
have to
had it
do this.
all. Oh, yes. Yes. I was already thinking, I'm like, oh, there's too much going on today. We're going to have to dedicate a show to playing with this.
Yeah.
So, of course, Rob had it all charged up and ready to go. He also got me an EMF
Oh.
detector so I can
Oh,
work
cool.
with the frequencies and kind of, which I think is so cool because I know I'm my own detector, but to be able to use that to demonstrate maybe to somebody else that's not experiencing it, and to have those visual aids for people, I love. Like, I think that is such a great way to expand the energy and really, all encompass everything. So
Yeah.
anyway, we turned it on and we played with it a little bit to get it to the right settings. And so we're all sitting around the Christmas tree and we've all opened our gifts and stuff. And I said, okay, all the spirits that are present, our friends, our family that are in spirit that are here with us, it's Christmas morning and we want to tell you that we love you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to us? So the look on my daughter's face was hilarious because it goes, it makes those really loud, like frequency or the static from the channels, loud as day, so clear. It comes out and goes, Merry Christmas. I'm not kidding.
Oh
I wish it
My
was on
goodness.
film. I wish we had a filmed
Oh,
it so we could share it. And we were all like, wow, it's really cool. That was amazing.
wow. That is
So,
amazing.
isn't it?
Wow.
It was so, you know, how the communication never gets old. Like especially when you can feel it and then when you get to enjoy it with others,
Yeah.
you know, to be able to have that together. And I mean, I've
Yeah.
always shared lots of stories about Christmas morning, like my mom and I seeing, videoing an orb, and the orb had my mom's dog that had passed inside of it. And so we
Oh,
videoed it and we could go in and see the dog. Like, we've
wow.
experienced beautiful things on Christmas morning. Anyway,
Wow.
so after that, shortly after, my husband's parents came and they had a visit with us and had, you know, breakfast and something to eat with or drink with us. And after they left, I was in the kitchen cleaning up, and it was so warm in our house, just with the fireplace going and, you know, everything on. So I had my window in the kitchen cracked open. Now, my window faces the side of my parents' house. And instead of having, like, we do have a fence, but we have it built so we opened it right up. So we have like a shared deck and we opened up the yard so it's all wide open. And so I had the window cracked and I could hear a bird. And I don't have a ledge or anything. It's just like the window's up high. There's no ledge. And I can hear a bird and it sounded like something mechanical. It was so like sing-song like and loud, and I couldn't see the bird. And I'm like, it sounded like a recording. So I'm looking over at my mom's house to think, does she have something on? Like, is there some kind of speaker or something that's on that's playing a bird sound? So I'm looking, and I look in the corner of my eye, and this bird, and I've never, and if anybody can identify what this bird is to let me know, because I'm not 100% sure, but it was white with black stripes like a zebra. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I did find something that was as close as what I thought it could be, which actually says that they're not that uncommon in Ontario, but I've never seen one. Like, I've never seen one. And
Is
it was
it like
literally,
little, like a little, like
mm-mm,
a finch or canary, or is
no,
it bigger, like a
size of a
cardinal? Like,
size of a cardinal,
okay.
all white, and it had like a little black, um it wasn't like sticking right out, but a little bit of black plumage right here, and then it had black stripes. And it was like, I'm like,
Wow.
what is that? So it was literally hanging off my window, looking directly in at me, making these noises. Like, and it was up over here. So I'm looking over here and I'm like looking around and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I see this bird and once it sees me, once we lock eyes, it goes and flies over, lands on the top of the deck, and then flew away. And I'm like,
Um,
huh,
oh, that was
that's
somebody.
amazing. And I
Yeah.
had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. And my mom calls me a few moments afterwards and she says that she had forgot some medication for my dad. And she had wondered if I would run her up because we have a little, they call them Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada. They're like little pharmacies and we happen to have one that's always open on holidays right at the end of our road. So she asked me if I would mind running up with her, and I said, yeah, no problem, because I actually need to pick something up myself that I forgot. So we head up, and of course, I always fill my mom in and all these different things that happen, as she does for me as well, because they get weird stuff going on too. And I shouldn't even call it weird anymore. It's normal, but you know, for us. Anyway, so we're walking in the pharmacy, heading back to the prescription aisle. And my mom's just going up to the counter and I'm telling her about this bird. And I'm saying, have you ever seen a bird like that before? Like, do you know what it is? And I'm showing her on my phone, like, it could be this. I'm not sure if it's this. And I said, I couldn't get a good look at it because I was so shocked that I was like, you know, taking it in. And she goes, I wonder who it was. Like, did you ask? And as soon as my mom said that, a guy in front of us at the pharmacy counter says, I'm here to pick up a prescription for Margaret Gray. Okay. Margaret Gray is Rob, my husband's grandmother. And yes, like, come on. And my mom and I both look at each other and I'm like, well, I guess we got our answer. We know who it was.
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you just right now when you said that, so funny.
Yeah.
So, um, I feel, so like you're telling this story and I'm starting to like feel somebody come in through my crown chakra. And
Yeah.
then you were like, who was it? And I felt like female energy on my upper arm, which is like mom, grandma.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, somebody's like mom or grandma's here. I wonder who that, like, what, why is this relevant? Oh, now I know. She's here.
Isn't that awesome? And we called
Yeah.
her Gigi. So she's
Oh,
Gigi. And
we have a
Gigi,
Gigi.
do you? Yeah.
Hmm.
Gigi has always been like I think since the beginning of my awakening, she would pop in like when I would be in like study circles or mediumship circles. She'd always pop in to let us know that she was there. So she'd go to another medium or somebody to say hello. Hilarious. So it was funny and very fitting. And it actually, without going into the whole story, the next day at Rob's family's house, when everybody got together, there was a
Wait,
message
so
that came
there's
through.
just like another, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on a really random detail. There's just
Yeah,
another person named Margaret Gray, like in
yeah,
your,
yeah.
wow, that's weird.
Like, of all the names,
Of all the
right?
names.
Of
Yeah.
all the names. And it was the only person at the pharmacy standing in front of us at the prescription pickup. And my mom and I are standing directly behind this person and talking about the bird in this exact moment. And my mom says, I wonder who it is. And then I'm here to pick up
Wow.
the prescription for Margaret Gray. I'm like,
Wow.
that's
Like, I
crazy.
think I got my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
definitely. So that was a pretty amazing moment. But here's where I bring it back around to Anubis.
Okay. Yeah.
So the dream, and um, of course, I'm not really thinking that that was
Wait, is this still Christmas morning?
no. Let's move ahead now to New Year's Day.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so New Year's Day. No, 2 days after New Year's Day. 2 days after.
Okay.
And Maya had these roses that she had kept, and this is a whole story of how these roses
Yeah.
came.
I think
Do you
you've shared
remember?
this. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
You
the
picked them
friend.
up and
Yes,
then they were for like yes, somehow they were from him, but they were symbolic of the snake, of
yes,
Anubis.
yes.
Yes.
And Maya said, when these rose petals fall, it'll be time for the new snake to come. Well, the rose petals fell, and that night, now I didn't know this, but that night, somebody that had, this is, okay, a girl that had given Anubis to Maya in the first place. She used to breed snakes. She doesn't any longer, but she had her own pets like that she wouldn't give away.
Right.
And of course,
Right.
she knew what happened to Anubis and everything. She's very supportive for Maya, to come see her if she had a problem or any questions or anything like that. Well, she works, like, she lives outside of our city, and she works in I can't remember if it's not that it matters, but she works in a legal office or something just down the road from us. So it's really convenient to stop by on her way to and from work if she needed anything to help us. So she had messaged Maya and said, I have a friend that I'd like to drop off and see how you connect. And meaning a snaky friend, right? And she goes, and no pressure, just see how it feels and see if there's a connection there. Because she's very, and like all of her snake show is named after a goddess or a god or something. And she says, if it's not a connection, that's okay. Like, don't worry about it. But Maya wasn't told the story of why or who the snake was or anything. So the next morning, all I heard was there was going to be a snake coming. And so I'm thinking by the weekend or whatever. No, it was like 7:30 in the morning. There was a snake at our door. Okay. Like, I'm getting ready for the day. And in comes a snake. She is a pure white, beautiful, glistening looking snake with blue eyes. Okay.
What?
Just like the one that Anubis showed me
And
on Christmas Eve.
I
And
didn't know. I thought that didn't know snakes could have blue eyes. So like I
yes,
didn't know if that was like some kind of just like dream thing.
yeah,
Wow.
no. Now, in the dream, they were much more blue, I will say.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
they look a little different in person, but it's called like a blue-eyed leucistic or something. I'm not the professional on snake, but anyway, Maya is. So Maya got all prepared and everything, and she was this like she the snake and her just took to each other. But here's what we found out. So the girl that we got the snake from, she had two, a male and female, and they were together, and they were like mates. They were very close to each other. Well, what she didn't share, because Maya was going through what she did, was unexpectedly the male passed away right at the same time Anubis did, shortly after. So she had the female that was very lonely for the male. And like if anybody were to tell me today that they don't have emotions and ways to attach or anything, like, I know different. I know different.
Yeah, like I never knew a snake could be lonely. Yeah, I thought they
Yeah.
were like
Well, I'm
loners.
sure I'm sure it's different. Like it's not the same type of affection, but they do have companions. They can have companions. It's just not the same as maybe we would see it in other
Hmm.
animals, right? Anyhow, it was, she said she felt sad, she would see this one on its own. And it was hard for her too, because she was grieving the other one. But with the knowledge, knowing that Maya had lost Anubis, in her mind, she thought Maya lost her mate, and
Oh, that
Luna,
they could be, yeah, partners.
yeah, and her name
Oh,
is Luna, of all things,
Luna. Okay.
Luna.
Yeah.
And so she said it was just the perfect timing, and we didn't like the timing. And of course, came in the year of 2025, year of the snake.
Is it really?
Yes, yes.
Whoa.
And so if you look up the goddess Luna, who Luna is named after, and read all about the transformation and all the meanings of it, and look up the information of the year of the snake, it is so perfect to what Maya is experiencing and what process she's going through. So it was such a magical kind of, all these pieces, and to have everything kind of fit together has just been
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. And she's sweet.
Wow.
She really is.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is so cool. That's
No,
really like the petals fell at the right time and the dream and at that and
yeah,
just having this wow, that's really cool. Well, so I'm sure Maya is just so over the moon and
she is. She is. She's definitely, it's, it's really good for her. And now she did have a little bit of a seizure in the backseat of our truck the other day, but other than
mm,
that, because in my mind, what I've gotten is this snake helps regulate Maya.
yeah, like a therapy
So,
snake.
mhm.
Like just keeps her like I don't know, whatever
Well, think
her
about a
nerves
weighted blanket,
calm and
right? A
yeah.
weighted blanket. Well, the snake is like, she's heavy, and she will
Oh,
lay, and
she
she's the
is.
same.
Oh, how
Yeah.
big is she?
Um,
I was
I
thinking
don't
of
know
a
how,
little
she's
snake.
three
Oh
years
my
old
God.
now. Oh no, no, she's already 3 years old, so she's pretty big. And
Okay.
one of these days, and she'll get
Is
bigger
she
because
like a
females,
python?
a ball python. Yeah,
She is okay. Oh my
yeah.
God. Is
One
that
of
what
these
Anubis
days,
was?
yes, yes. And
Oh,
I'll post a picture. I'll post a picture on
please.
the community board so everybody can see her.
Oh,
But one of
I've
these
been
days,
thinking of like a garter snake or like a rattlesnake type size snake. Oh, we're talking about pythons. Okay.
I'll just tell you, I'll see if I can put it up here. I actually, we did a New Year's photo shoot with her.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes, we did because it's Year of the Snake. And I did post on one of my social media. I can't remember which one I did, but let me go to my photos and see if I can find it. But this one, so it took me a long time to touch Anubis, to,
Okay.
pet him, touch him. I never did. I did hold him, but I never picked him up out of his tank or anything. It just is one of those things. It's just something that took me a long time. But with Luna, it's different. I'm able to
Huh.
stroke her head and touch
Aw.
her. Now, I have not actually held her or put her around my neck or anything like that, but I will. And I know I will. So one of these days, I will show up with Luna around my neck so she can say hello to everybody.
Oh, I love that. I like I don't know why pythons don't scare me as much because they're not like biters, they're
Yeah,
stranglers, you know? So
yeah. Well,
like
she's
the
not. They're very like pythons are really good. Um, like they're one of the easier. I think a corn snake is actually one of the easiest, but from what I understand, um, the python, the ball python, and they're called the ball python because they coil up. So she'll coil up like in a little ball and sit right in your hand. But
wait, she'll
they're
sit in your hand like how
yeah.
we
So
gotta see.
she's
I'm gonna look on your social media too. I
okay.
gotta figure this out.
Okay, I'm just looking for a picture here of her that I can share.
Okay. Maybe would you have put it on?
I might have put it on TikTok.
Oh, I'm not a TikToker.
I'm not really either, but I like to scroll around on there every now and again, and I like to repost. I always find really interesting stuff that other people have, like a lot of metaphysical stuff. So I'll do a lot of
Mm-hmm.
reposting, but I don't regularly post content there. But I
Okay,
am
it's
on
not
there.
on your Instagram.
There's all my There's my photo roll.
I do have.
That's weird.
Oops. Oh, I do have TikTok. Hold on. I'm searching. Um,
Okay, there's one of her. I don't know if you can see that.
oh yeah.
So she's on Maya's back there,
Okay.
and then let's bring it a better picture. Oh, here's another one on Maya's back. Uh,
Oh, okay. Okay. She's not as big as when you said python, I
no,
was thinking.
yeah,
I was
well,
thinking like the boa constrict, like the big ones. Um,
yeah. So the year of the snake, because I have a little piece that I popped up about it. The year of the snake teaches us profound self improvement, encouraging growth from within and expanding our consciousness. It reminds us that becoming a better version of ourselves allows for greater flexibility, shedding rigidity, and embracing transformation. The invitation is to open up psychic awareness to sense the vibrations of your environment and then use that insight to move forward on your path. This year embodies a calm, knowing energy, showing us that change fosters growth and makes us better people. This enables us as empaths and light workers to strive for expansion within our collective consciousness. So,
wow, I love that. You might have to
yeah,
put that definition on your page too, because that was
I don't know if you
I
can
like
see
that.
that. That's her Happy New Year photo shoot.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
pretty cute. So, yeah, I'll make sure to post some pictures so everybody can see
Oh, well, I am
better.
so
But
happy that your family got little Luna. That's so
yes,
sweet.
yeah, yes, thank you. Yeah, we're pretty happy.
We got we got unexpected pets as well.
We did.
Also of
Well, who
the
who joined your
not
family?
hmm a village of ants.
Oh, you know what? I was
So,
thinking about that too. Yeah,
um,
ants.
my son for his birthday, which his birthday is December in earlier, like December
Yeah.
9th. So
Hmm.
for his birthday, he wanted an ant farm. But you have to mail away for
Cool.
the ants. So you get the like
Yes.
container and then you get the
Yeah.
little certificate and you mail that in and then your ants
Yep.
come. So our ants came on Christmas Eve as well. And yeah, and they are so interesting.
They are. I
They're
think that's
just
fascinating. Like they really
they're
are fascinating to watch how they
they're
build and
very
what they do.
fascinating to watch.
Yeah,
And they like sleep. I didn't know that. Like there's times when they move and times when they don't move. So like
really.
one time I went to his room and I was like, "Oh, I don't think they're moving. I think they're all dead." And then they kind of moved a little bit, but that's our little ant farm.
Oh, how
And
cool is that?
there's
Digging
some
their little
ants.
trenches and everything.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you put like how do you feed them? What do you put in?
We put in oatmeal, like dry oat flakes. We put in
Mhm.
little apple slices. And then we
Mhm.
put in, when we first got them, we didn't have really anything. So we put in, I had like an old pack of sunflower seeds. So I was like, let's put some seeds
Mhm.
in there because it says they eat
Mhm.
seeds, oats, and like
Mhm.
fruit.
Mhm.
And look, one of the sunflower seeds sprouted. So now we've got
They've got a little
sunflowers in there.
they've got a little terrarium. That's
I
so
know.
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And do you add water? Like do you put water in there and everything too or
We
what?
do. Yes, I do not, but
Yeah.
Tate does. So I don't know how
Yeah.
often that's happening,
That's
but
cool.
the sand looks moist, so I think they're okay. So
You'll have to keep us updated on how, and I think that's a really interesting because the ants are a network of consciousness because they work together, right? They work with that one consciousness, kind of all for the same team. So it'd be really interesting to kind of look at like seriously, like that to me is
it
like a
is true.
social experiment to be able to
So
watch yeah,
it kind of made me think, with the wildfires in LA, it's been making
yeah,
me think about if I had to leave the house, what
yeah.
would I take with me, you know?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
there's this like picture that's like gone viral of this family, and all they have basically is like two sacks, and that's all they took from their
Mhm.
house, and then everything else got destroyed. And then I saw this one lady, and she put her china in her pool to like save it
Mm.
from the
Mhm.
wildfires, and and so it made me think like, what would I take? And I was like thinking about it, I was like, would I take the ants? Like, do I take them? And then I was like, well, I wouldn't really travel with them. So really all I'd be doing is taking them from burning inside the house to burning outside of the house. So is it really like saving them? Like, what? I don't know.
That
The
that
moral
that's
dilemmas.
the moral dilemmas, and with that being said, because that's really been everywhere over the last week, and like first of all, is we do have lots of friends and viewers and people listening that are in the California area, so our hearts go out to everyone that is going through huge amounts of loss and fear,
Yeah.
and I can't
Oh, yeah.
imagine
I
just the
cannot.
the sight and what we're seeing is
Yeah.
unbelievable. And I know that so many areas in the world have experienced horrific conditions and weather
Hmm.
conditions. And, it really does take a moment to really take stock of what our lives are and what they mean and what would we do? Like, just like you said,
Hmm.
what would I do in that position?
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to actually touch upon that too. And it just something really short that I observed, and I got a little bit of it was more of like a knowing, like a little download from spirit as I was observing this that I think is really good to share. Did you ever did you ever watch that show, The Hills? It was like a reality show, and I think it has to have been 15 years ago that was on or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
It was like Laguna Beach. And then after Laguna Beach was the
Yeah.
hills or something like
Yes.
that yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to watch that religiously with my stepdaughter. because she was a teenager. She's in her 30s now. But we used to watch it, and we actually went to Toronto to see the Hills live and to see some of them and everything for like a Mother's Day weekend. One time. It was very cool. But anyway, we were big into watching that at the time. And so I'm familiar with, some of them. And I, of course, don't keep up on them anymore. But here's what's so interesting. So on YouTube, um, what's his name? Spencer Pratt. So there was Spencer Pratt and Heidi Monte. And I remember
Mhm.
how there was always so much drama that went
Mhm.
on with him. There
Mhm.
was always,
Mhm. He was like the bad guy
always,
on the show.
yeah, they
Yeah.
made him out to be the villain all the time.
Yes.
And it was so interesting because I can remember way back then when that's so weird. That's another thing that's happening. My Siri and everything just went off, just started. Yeah, that's something else that went on with my sessions too. Is a Google Home plugged in over here that is not hooked up to anybody's. It's not hooked up to anybody's device. Went off twice at a very appropriate and poignant time in a session,
Did your
in two
EMF
sessions.
detector just go off all the time? Oh, your house
Yeah,
is so active.
yeah, yeah. It's very active. So anyway, back to this. Um, it was funny because way back then, I remember watching him, and I didn't want to view him as the villain. Like I,
Mhm.
I, I was always like, I don't know. I would see his behaviors and things he was doing, but I was like, oh, it's reality TV. It's how they're spinning it. It's how they're, it's not that I ever thought much about it, but here I notice on YouTube, he pops up and I look at all this stuff and he's got all of these, like he has a crystal business and all this stuff in California. Well, the reason why I noticed him is their house burnt down. And I think in
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
Palisades, so him and so
Palisades, yeah.
he married Palisades, he married Heidi, and they have two children. And not only him, but like many people, including many celebrities, lost their homes. And
Mhm.
the reason why I bring this up is one, um, when there's any kind of disaster, it it's so easy for people at a distance to judge and say, well, you're a celebrity, you can rebuild, you can do this. And
Yeah.
maybe many of them, yes, they do have different resources and they can, but a lot of these people, and specific ones, like had been in the same home for 42 years.
Yeah.
Or there was a man that I was listening to speak and he was 91 years old and he lost
Oh.
everything.
Oh.
His entire life is gone. And it was so inspiring because he said, I've never been through something like this before, but I'm alive and I'm here and there's a reason for that and I will rebuild. And the reason why I bring up Spencer Pratt is not because it's a celebrity that lost his home, which is horrible and tragic, but it's what I witnessed happening. And so I was watching some of his shorts because he's posting. And so what he did is he lost, of course, like all his business. They lost everything in their home. There was nothing that they could salvage, burnt right down to the ground. And what he did was he took the resources that he had. So he had social media accounts and his wife. So what he had said was they put all of their money years ago after the Hills, the money from that, they put into her music. And I didn't know that she was a singer, but
I
they
think she
put
had like one
into her,
song afterwards.
yeah,
Yeah.
and really put it into her. And they were really trying to push her out. And it didn't happen. It did what it did, and it just kind of sat. Well, with what's going on right now, and what I love about watching him, and I know people, the perception is not like there's a great amount of people that are sending love and positivity, but there's also a great amount of people like you're an idiot, you're a jerk, you're milking social media, you're a celebrity. But here's the thing, and this is what Spirit downloaded to me. He's authentic. and he's on his social media and he's not telling anybody anything other than, I'm a human being, I'm a father, I'm a wife, these are the resources I have. And he says, and I'm going to create these videos because he's getting their followers just pumped right up. So they're like at over 1 million followers. So the revenue that's coming from it is going to help them. They didn't have house insurance. It got canceled. So, which apparently a lot of them did have it
I've heard
canceled.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how all that'll fall out. But the point of this is right now, his wife, because of what's going on, all the viewership and just the authenticity of, and I'm just hearing right now, a lot of the people that will say things, it's like projecting their own frustrations and angers at him, which is a lot of what they did with his character on that reality show, is projecting the frustration, the anger
He's like
without,
the shadow self of
yes,
everyone.
yes, and
Yeah.
that is, Spirit said, that's what he's doing, because truly he's light, but he comes out with a certain force, and it's necessary to get done what he needs to do, because his true energy is for his family, his legacy, leadership for his family. So he's doing what he knows to do to be able to benefit his family. Now, a lot of people say, well, you just want to be famous, you just want to, and he shuts that out. And maybe, some of the talking he did, I was like, it's a little harsh here and there. I don't know if I would do it that way, but that's not my place to judge. And it is so interesting because all of the money and the investment, and he even talked a little bit about this and said how they put everything into it. They would pray, they were manifesting, they would, and it didn't turn out. But that song of hers is number one on the billboards today
Right now?
in a week. Yeah.
What? Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yeah. So not only are they over 1 million followers, like 1.5 million, both of them, but because of this disaster and the expression and people saying, what can I do to help? So people go to and download her songs and like her songs. And now she's at the top of the charts. So something that happened 15 years ago. And the reason why I'm really
Wow.
bringing this forward, and of course to send our love and prayers to California, but to show that the timing and the reason why things happen and the trust in what we don't understand, because
Yeah.
that man is doing videos and you can see the light and the excitement, and he's broken down in tears several times, and those tears are real, but they're tears of gratitude. And we're looking at a family that lost everything, but he took
Wow.
action. And when we understand cycle and we understand how things come, when you put something in, when you keep putting your energy into something, it's not in our control to exactly how it comes out or what the purpose is behind it, but he's representing hope. He's representing faith. And he's doing that for many, many people, because this time in the world is when people need hope. They
Yeah.
need faith. They need to know that there is another way, that there is a way to get through these hard things, and that it's not all sunshine and lollipops and butterflies all the time, but there is an absolute creation and magic that runs through each and every one of us, that it's our job to dig into that ourselves. And he shows that I cut out the noise. I'm not listening to the noise. I just keep doing what I need to do
Oh
and
my God,
not
I love
listen
that.
to
Yeah.
the you're this and you're that
Yeah.
and you're just looking for attention. And he cuts it out because he knows in here, he knows in his gut that what he needs to do and the real purpose behind all of it. What's the intention? Sure, I'm sure he loves luxury and he loves money and he loves all those things. There's nothing wrong with that. But the true intention is the legacy and the care of his family.
Yeah.
and that's real. So I think that's a very powerful lesson. So if anybody can manage it, then there's a little rhetoric that comes with them. But, if anybody knows listening who I'm talking about and has interest in kind of checking it out, it's there's a beautiful unfolding that's happening out of a horrific disaster.
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you follow him on like what platform? TikTok?
yes, I found him on TikTok,
Okay.
um, and he said something about TikTok being banned. So I don't
It's
know anything about that.
um I think it's under review or something
Mm,
like that. It might be the end of January or the middle of February. I can't remember.
okay, all right,
They might, yeah, ban it.
shut it down. So he's
Shut it
got other
down. Yeah.
platforms. You can see him on. I found him on YouTube, so you can see him on there and that
Hmm.
too. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to find him just by putting in Spencer Pratt.
With two
So
T's, I think. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but very interesting.
Wow. Well, blast from the past. Yeah, I know. I just feel for everybody out there. I saw a
Hmm.
size comparison and it's already burned more than what Manhattan is, So it's such a huge area. And that's just
Yeah,
one of the fires.
yeah,
It's so sad. It is so
it's very
sad.
sad.
So,
It's very sad. Yeah, I I don't know. It's there's so many different layers to why that's happening and what's
mm-hmm,
going on, and I'm sure
mm-hmm,
over time that will all become more and more apparent. You know,
mm-hmm.
and I'm speaking spiritual community, like to those of us that are really looking
Yeah.
at it in that way. But
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, so I wanted to touch on that, and of course, before we close, we have to
I'm
do
so
so.
excited.
I am too.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah.
yeah, I just want to
Before I,
comment on it. That was just the best, Michelle. Thank you so much for leading us in 31
you're
Days of
welcome.
Love. It was so just refreshing to get on and do an exercise that just takes you inward and makes you reflect. And some were fun, like the lady, she was cool. Um,
Yes. And we'll
so it
talk about
was
her too. We'll talk in one of our
okay.
episodes, we'll bring her up and kind of explain who she is. And,
Okay.
for those that are interested to kind of see what you picked up on and who she is, because she is a spirit that I connected with, and it just was one of those, everything's in divine timing. So the other thing is too, is this was a challenge for me too. This was something that I put for myself as a challenge. And the challenge for me was to post something every day, to bring forward something every day. And I had thought, well, there's a smarter way to do it, Michelle. You could just sit down and have them all set to go and they'd release all at each day so you wouldn't have to focus on it. But that's not really what I wanted, because I wanted to be able to bring something forward that came up organically each day. And a lot of times
Yeah.
they would come from either something that was in my mind or an experience that I was having or something that I witnessed or something coming, a question from spirit. So there was always something that would prompt each and every one. So it was a really
They
great way.
They were
Hmm.
so beautiful, and it made me think of, I know you've talked about doing like cards, like
Hmm.
doing
Hmm.
you were doing like the animal cards.
Hmm.
This
Yeah,
would be
I'm still doing those.
another great card
Yes.
thing. Like I'd love to have
Yeah.
these cards out and then just pull one for the day to
Yes.
kind of,
Yeah.
go
I
within
think so
and
too.
set intention.
Now,
Yeah.
where it didn't, so in the last few days, you'll notice that they didn't get copied to Instagram. I made it all the way through on YouTube. So what I did was everyone that commented on YouTube, I gave you a double ballot to make up for the days
Not
that
being
it
able to
didn't get
comment on
covered.
Instagram.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, and thank you to everybody who commented and did it, because that was really nice to have that interaction and feel it. So thank you. So everybody has all of their ballots in here. So for every single day, and that was a little tedious. I did it all at once. I tallied it all up and did it.
Oh,
Did I just drop one? No, I didn't. So, but they're all in here. So I'm going to close my eyes. As you can see, I'll show the camera. They're all here. Close my eyes. And so this is for, now, should we do one for a session and one for a class? Or should we give the choice, or what do you think?
I like that. One session,
Yeah,
or give a choice to each. Would you rather have a session or a class?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do two. Let's pick two.
Okay. Okay.
All right. We got oh, one. Just make sure it's not the same name.
Is it good?
Woo! Okay, so I'm trying to remember. So I just put the first name down, but I gotta look at so the first winner is Linda Patterson. So Linda,
Congratulations,
yay!
Linda.
And the second one is A Little Bit Witchy, is her name
Oh,
on,
okay. I was like,
yeah.
wait, what? I thought you were describing the person.
No.
Congratulations. A
So
little bit
I think it's
witchy.
at A Little Bit Witchy. So for
Okay.
those that have so for the two of you, what I'll ask that you do is you can message me on my email or just go on my website and message me and let me know if you would like to have a space reserved for an upcoming class, or if you would like to book a session, and I will take care of you and have that all set up. Now, the booking of the session will have to go in with my schedule because I've got a pretty full schedule, so I'm gonna have to put you into order. And then as far as the classes go, Maren and I, we really had the intention of wanting to have a class before the end of the year, but that's not always how things go. And Maren and I are both very, we will not force something and make it a big stressor to put together if the timing is off or we've got things with our family. And with Maya, that was my focus for the last few
Mm-hmm.
months. A great deal is just getting my family through
Mm-hmm.
that period of time. So we have a lot of ideas, a lot of great ideas. And this year, I know that there will be spaces made for us to be able to put them into play and
Mm-hmm.
to do more. So, is there anything else you wanted to add, Maren?
No, that's that sums it up.
That sums it up.
Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Yes,
And thank you so much
congratulations.
to everyone.
Yes.
Your comments meant so much to us, and it really, like, I don't know, like, I would think one thing and then I'd read a comment and I'd be like, oh, that's such a good point. And
Yeah.
like, so it
Yeah.
just really helped, kind of
Yeah.
develop that just thinking mindset, growth mindset, and taking other people's opinion. I just loved it. So thank you
Yeah.
everyone that
Yes.
participated
Thank you.
regularly. I really
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was really
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
So
I don't,
until next time, I guess.
yes. Oh, I was going to say a little caveat about my
Oh, please.
mic. I don't know how much you can see. My screen, I think, is smaller than like when it like posts. It actually goes a little bit wider, and my little just turned off has been going like drooping. It's a little droopy. So I'm sorry if that was distracting. I was trying not to distract.
I noticed it once and I was going to make a funny comment and then I didn't. But um,
I'll
but
figure that out
I
how to tighten it
I've
up.
had my microphone tucked down here because Paula
Oh,
had said to me on one of my channeling, she just was giving me some tips on how to improve my sound. And so I purchased a couple little gadgets and they've been working, and it
there
improved
it goes.
somewhat, but not completely. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I have a mic and all that stuff, but the sound is not good with it. So I've got to
Yeah.
do something. And among all the other things I've got going on, I'm manifesting a professional assistant. That's what I'm manifesting for this
Hey,
year.
love it.
So, yeah,
I love it. Um, yeah, my mic got really good reviews, but I only feel like it's slightly better than my computer
it sounds
microphone.
good.
Like,
You're very clear.
do you
It sounds
think?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you sound better, so maybe I'll get what you have.
Well, mine's nothing special. Mine is actually a little toggle. Mine's a toggle plugged into. I got a new headset with a mic that had good reviews, and a little toggle plugged into my computer so it would take out the staticky noise,
Yeah,
and that seems to be working, but we'll see. It's working for now. We'll go with the flow.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
2025. I can't
Yes.
believe it. It's already off to a wild start.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited about this year and the topics that we're going to get into this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a message come in that I need to be having more fun. I
Mm,
guess I'm not having enough fun. I think I'm too hard on myself. So I
yeah.
thought maybe we could do like a show or two about like how to like increase our flow and have more
Yeah.
fun and the
Mm-hmm.
importance of that. So that would be good. And then the
Yeah.
EMF recording thing would be super cool. Where do you like where
Yeah.
does he get that? Does he just go on Amazon or is there like a spirit store? Like where do you find that?
Just on the internet. If you Google it, SB7
Okay,
Spirit Box voice recorders. If you put in your search engine paranormal investigation devices,
got it.
I would
You'll get them
also
all.
like my next goal is to get a REM pod,
What's
and
that?
the REM pod is like a little device that picks up on spirit energy. So if you light it up and turn it on when they come close, it starts to alarm and move.
That's
And so
cool.
here's the awesome part, and I'll just add this a little bit. I kind of said this before, but when you're learning, especially, when you have some of these tools, and it really helps to understand how energy works, like to really understand the science and the physics of energy, our bodies, EMF, spirit energy, what is it? Because those are the things that create a great foundation, especially for a lot of folks that are extremely, we'll say, left brained, or really have a
Hmm.
hard time connecting to how does that work. Because once you understand the general, or you understand how it operates, it really helps open up the experience. So these tools are so fascinating. Plus, it is just like the Google Home going off. It is fascinating when you get a message from something that is not plugged in. How do you
Oh my
explain that?
gosh. How does that happen?
How does that happen? Just like with Eric, when Eric first passed, and Elisa and Rooney were redoing their kitchen, and they had for their stove, they had like what do they call it? Like the blower, the air blower. Well, they have one
Oh,
that
like the
would
vent
come up,
fan?
the vent
Hmm.
fan. It would come up like from the island. It would go up
Oh,
and
yep.
down.
Hmm.
It had no electricity to it. And they would come in and it would go up and down. No power to the
Wow.
kitchen because it
Wow.
was being renovated. Like there's just
Wow.
things that take place. And I mean, we should actually do a story time with all the lists of interesting things that
How they've
I've
messed.
experienced. And
Same
yeah,
here. Same
yeah,
here. I've got some
yeah,
good stories too.
yes, yeah.
Okay, well, please do. And let's do like I, let's go into the energy. Like, let's talk
Yeah.
about the like
Yes.
actual energy stuff so that we
Hmm.
can understand it better because that's really cool.
That sounds good.
Um, okay, maybe that'll be next time then. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll
Okay,
see.
I
We'll
would
go
love
with
that.
the flow and see what
We'll
happens.
go with the flow. That's right.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you guys have any good show ideas for us for the new year, we
Mm.
would love to hear what you guys are interested in hearing about. And thank you again so much. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for being
Yeah.
patient through our break while we spent time with our families and
Yeah.
um, recouped, recovered, and had a nice, relaxing break. So thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
we look forward to this year. Just can't
Yeah.
believe it. I need to look back at see what our start date was, but I almost feel like, are we going on like this is like 2.5 years or something? I feel like it's been a
This
while.
is our third. I think this is our third season,
Third year?
our third year. I'm pretty sure it is.
I
We'll have to
think
go
you're
back
right.
and check on that.
Well, I
And this is
know that I started my job after I started this,
that's
and I've
right.
been at my job for 2.5 years. So you're
Okay.
right.
So yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is probably
Time
our
flies when you're
third
having
year.
fun.
It does. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. That's good.
Um,
Isn't
maybe
okay?
not.
That's interesting.
I don't know. Because I do kind of feel like I remember telling a coworker, like, I have a podcast, and I feel like it was like episode 3. So maybe that's not true. But I do remember also having an episode where we were like, I remember saying, I'm so excited I manifested this job. So I'm confused. I don't know. I'm
We'll
gonna have
have
to
to
look
go. We'll
back.
have to go back and look. We'll have to go back and look at the date.
Yeah.
I was just I was laughing because I actually went back to my earliest videos before we started the podcast, like way to the way beginning, and my very first video. If you guys want a good laugh, like really, go back to my first video because it's funny, but it's also interesting to see the transformation, to see
Oh,
the changes.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I leave them up. I've cried on the videos. I've done healing on the
Aw.
videos. I've told
Aw.
funny stories by myself. So I'm so glad that I've got you to share them with.
I'm so glad we have each other for
Yeah,
that
me
very
too.
reason. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I feel so driven to share my story because I feel like such an ordinary
Yes.
person, and then this
Yeah.
extraordinary thing just happened to fall into
Well,
my
that's
lap of being able to, like see, hear, feel
yeah.
spirits,
Yeah.
it's like, and I was like, there is no way I'm going to get on camera by myself and just be like, hey guys, like I like even in my old Instagrams, I do that kind of, and feels it's like so,
Yeah,
you
it
can
takes a
feel my
while to
stress.
get comfortable with that. It does.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of what we do because everybody is special. Everybody. And we
Yeah.
all we're ordinary people with extraordinary experiences and
Yeah.
understanding the power within us.
Yes,
And
that is what I want people to know. That is what
yes,
I said to Spirit. I was like, people have to know this. People
yes,
have to know this. They have to know how powerful they are. Like I have to
yes,
get that message out. Like this is unbelievable.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And you
So,
heard how you
so
just
thanks
said
guys
that
for
you hear how the mic just did a little bit of a the sound quality went a little wonky there, and that's because of what
did
you
it
just said about power.
because it was so
Uh-huh.
powerful. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah. So this is a good year, guys. This is a biggie. So we're ready to strap down and really get into it, dig into it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I can't wait to tell you guys about a meditation that I did that was so powerful. I want everybody to do it. So it was like
Okay.
some technique I tried and it had some very
Oh,
real
awesome.
results. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. I
Oh,
can't
we've
wait.
got some good stuff. Yay. Well, enjoy the rest of
Yay.
your day. Enjoy, everybody. We love you. We'll see you at the same bat time, same bat channel, as always. And thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. Love you, Maren.
Bye. Love you too.
Okay.